So, okay. I just want to point out that was powerful. So you'll hear a lot of that tonight. But one thing I did want to say, somebody much smarter than me once said, our truth and our facts will speak much louder than you can shout lies. Yes. So let's make sure we continue to talk about it. I'd like to introduce the next speaker, Erin Morturano.
Yeah! All right.
Almost did it bad.
Did I do that?
No, I did that because I'm too short. Good evening. There are many people of various faiths here, and it is so wonderful to see so many people coming together for a common goal. I'm not a person of faith, but I'm proud to stand alongside them. There are also people across the political spectrum represented here, believe it or not. I've been solidly independent since I first registered to vote, but there are both Republicans and Democrats who believe that Policy 443 should be replaced. I have a daughter in 4th grade in FCPS, and I'm here because I don't believe that parents' rights stop when our children cross the thresholds of their schools. FCPS, in their own parent-student handbook, state that, quote, parents serve as their child's first and most important teacher, and this responsibility continues throughout the rest of their life, end quote. Why is it then that they are so willing to ignore the importance of this relationship when a child is experiencing gender confusion? The teenage years tend to be difficult for many families. I can speak from experience. My mother and I reached a point in my adolescence where our relationship was extremely strained. If I had begun to struggle with my gender identity at that age, I certainly would not have wanted to tell her, and I definitely would not have wanted anybody else to tell her. Was my mother cruel or abusive? No. We just didn't see eye to eye. But that would have been enough, in FCPS's opinion, for this struggle to be kept secret from parents. Setting up this conflict between a child's identity at school and a child's identity at home doesn't seem like a recipe for success. We're constantly told how important it is for a person to live as their authentic self and how affirming a child's chosen gender identity is life-saving. Why then would it be acceptable for a child to have to switch back and forth depending on if the child is at home or at school? How does that not create conflict between the parents and the school, if only in the child's mind? Not to mention that the evidence does not support the fact that affirmation saves lives. We're also supposed to accept that our children could now potentially be in dangerous situations at school. The purpose as defined in 443 is, quote, to create school cultures that are safe, welcoming, and affirming for all students, end quote. However, the policy only considers those students experiencing gender dysphoria. It explicitly states that, quote, all students must have access to facilities, including restrooms, locker rooms, or changing facilities that correspond to their gender identity. Access is provided without any additional complicating procedure, end quote. No need to notify or consult with the parents or take any other steps to ensure that this is truly what's best for the student or the students around him or her. We hope to raise our daughter with a good sense for when she is in an unsafe situation. That includes using the restroom or changing when there are people with penises present. Does every person with a penis pose a threat? No. But imagine a scenario where a biological male is changing in the girls' locker room. He's not touching any of the girls, but he's watching them change, and some of them are becoming uncomfortable. We tell our girls not to ignore the warning signals that our bodies and minds give us when we feel unsafe in these situations. Yes. But what happens when one of those girls says something to a staff member or another student? Are her concerns validated or dismissed? Is she going to be labeled a transphobe, and could this keep her from speaking up at all? Maybe she doesn't speak up and learns to ignore those warning signals out of fear. How does that work out when she meets someone with bad intentions? To be clear, I do not believe that people experiencing gender dysphoria are dangerous or predatory in nature. What I fear is that this poorly written policy would allow a male student the opportunity to enter a space that's supposed to be safe and private for females. I don't think that those who support 443 are interested in providing cover for predators, so I can only assume they are ignoring any possible consequences. Thank you.